Welcome to Techno Learning. In this video, we are going to create digital speedometer app. The speedometer that you have seen in cars and bike, the app will look like the same. So first of all, open the Android Studio and click on Start a new Android Studio project. After that, select the empty activity and click on Next. And here you have to give the name of your application, that is Speedometer, and make sure that the language you have choose is Kotlin and finish. After that, the project will start building and the indexing of the file will also take place. It takes little time, so have some patience over there. Till then, I'm gonna to tell you that this app is gonna really easy to develop and you will learn a lot. Moreover, I'm going to create this app in Kotlin, as Kotlin is the recommended language by Google itself, and in few years it will going to be the official language of Android. So here the project is ready. So go to manifest first of all to add some permissions. Here we are in the Android manifest file, and here I have to add two permissions for location, that is access course location and access file location. So in the first we have added the access file location and then the access course location. We are taking the location of the user to measure the speed. Here we are in the build Gradle file, and in this file we have to add some dependencies. I think there will be two dependencies will be needed for our app. First is Google services that we are going to take locations information, and another one is for the runtime permission. So first of all, open the browser and search this on Google. Easy. After that, click on the first result, and here you go. You can see that the installation is given. Just copy this line. Just make sure you are copying the full line. Okay, let's come back to the Android Studio and paste it here. After that, open Google again and search Google Play location Android. You can see that Google Play location services Android. Click on the second result, set up Google Play services. As you can see that the page is open, and in this just scroll down, and in the table 1 you will able to find the needed dependency, that is Google location and activity recognition. After that, you just have to copy this dependency from here, and let's come back to Android Studio, and here we have to write the implementation. Yes, and we have to give the inverted comma, and within that commas paste the link and click on sync now. Here the dependencies are started to be downloaded from the server. We are going to use them in this project. So here the build dependency files work is over. Now you can see that this is a picture that you have to copy to Drawable. I have given the link of this picture in the video description. Download it from here and just paste it to the Drawable folder. So just right click and click on paste, and click on, after that check up that it is in drawable folder only, and click on OK. So here the background picture that we needed is copied into a drawable. You can download this picture. I have provided the link in the video description. Let's come into the activity main XML layout, and we have to design it. And first of all, you have to remove this text view. After that, you have to change this constraint layout into linear layout, and here you have to add a text view and give the width and height as wrap content. After that, give the ID for the text view as current speed ID. After that, you have to give the margin for this text view, that is we are taking 92 dp margin from the top, and then the gravity is set as center so that this element will be placed in the center part of the screen. After that, we have to give the text, the default text. We have given 2 dash within the space is between them. After that, you have to give the text color that I am taking from the hex value. You just have to write this hex value has 24C10C. After that, you have to add the text size, that is 50 SP, and then text style will be bold. So this text view is completed. You can see in the right side, and you have to add the orientation in the linear layout, that is vertical. So it is in the right place right now. After that, give the background, that is the picture we have copied in the drawable folder. Make sure that you have downloaded it and paste it into the drawable folder. It is very important and needed for this design purpose. After that, you have to add another text view here. So I'm adding the newer text view, and give the height and width as wrap content, and give the ID for this text view as 10 to 30 label. This text view is for label purpose. After that, you have to give the gravity for this text view as center, and take the margin from the bottom, that is 5 dp. After that, you have to give some default text, that is I am giving here from 10 km/h to 30 km/h. Make sure that you have write the correct code. After that, give the text color as white. This is the default hex value for white color, and give the text size as 10 SP. After that, make sure the text style is bold. So this whole layout will contain only the text views. You can copy one text view and then paste them and then modify their values for making your time shorter for making this XML file. Or you can go with this type that I'm always prefer, that if you write the code again and again, then you will be able to get more practicable, and it will be more easier for a professional to write code instead of just copying and paste. Here you can see that I am giving the styling for this text view, and I have also given the ID as 10 to 30 ID and the gravity. And here I have to add the default text as 2 dash and space between them. After that, the text color it is same as the previous ones, has value as there. After that you have to add the text size, that is 40 sp, and in the right side you can see that as we are writing the code, it is implementing in the right side on the screen. So this text view is completed. After this we will need a new text view here, and we will give the width and height as wrap content. After that you have to give the ID for this text view. I'm just giving the ID as text view 2, and the layout gravity is center. So let me tell you more about this XML. Actually you can go for customizable design. Just you have to drag and drop the elements in the design palette, but it is preferred to write code, XML code. If you want to be a professional, then it is mandatory, or it is a good practice, whenever you write the code. So here I am creating another text view with the height and width as wrap content, and I will also give the ID. And let me tell you another thing, that as I am preparing this XML file as per the screen that I am having in my emulator, and it may be possible that it cannot fit to your phone. So make sure that you are taking the margins according to your phone, or if you have taking my values, then after running the app, if you are getting something mischievous or out of the context, then you can just modify the margins. Then you will able to get the correct thing. Correct thing means you will able to get place your digits at the position that is defined by you, or that is preferred by me. As you can see the right side of the screen, and in this text view I have to give the text style as bold. So this is also completed. After that we will need 2 more text views. So we create another new text view here, and we have to give the ID for this text view. We will give as 30 to 10 ID, and after this we have to add some text here. So this XML file is really easy to design. Don't worry if you don't know anything about the XML designs. Just write the code as I am writing, and make sure that you are writing the correct code, then you will able to get the results. And if you feel or get any error or any doubt while making this app, then you can comment your question in the comment box, and I will able to give the reply to you within 1 day or 2 days. This text view is completed. After that I think this is gonna be the last text view, and I have started that width and height. After that I have to give the ID, that is text view only, and here I have to give the basic things like setting the gravity as center, taking the margin from the top, that is 5 dp, and after that few more things left regarding the text, as adding the unit of the speed. As this is the speedometer app, I have to add the unit. In the right side you can see that also the text is a little smaller, not little, it is very much smaller, but don't worry, it will fit to the phone screen. And after this text view is completed, I will show you the right side screen only, then you will able to get the thing that I'm gonna making. Okay, so remove this extra space. After that I will just scroll slowly to the upper side so that you can check out. If you have missed something, then just pause the video and correct it. So yeah, it's okay. So now let me show you the screen, how it look like. So you can see that the green dash here, the speed will show up, and the little things like all this information kind of thing, the units and the seconds, the time measuring things are like that. So we are going to measure speed in 3 terms, like if we are moving the car or the bike from 10 km/h to 30 km/h, then it will be shown here. Okay, so we are in the main activity, the Kotlin coding, as we are making the app in Kotlin. I forgot it, I'm very sorry for it. So add easy permissions for taking the real-time permission from your phone, that you have allowed the location permission, and I'm just extending the class. Here you can see that the permissional callbacks and rationally callbacks are needed for easy permission library. And here I have to add a few variables. I hope you can see the screen well. Yeah, so I have to add some variables. Like first variable is named as tag, and it is given the value as main activity. I think it is for the tag toast purpose. After that I have to give the location permission a flag, that is 124, and then I have to give the speed up start time is 0L. Here L represent to the long values. If it contains value bigger than the range, then it will able to cover them. Then the newer variable speed up and time, the same value. Also I want to make sure that the type of these variables, if we get any type of error while making the app, then we can correct it within this. The type of the variable may vary, like sometimes we have to use var instead of val. So here I am creating the init variables for taking the used location, and it is the present in the library itself. After that I have to create the location request thing, and this is also belongs to the available library. I have to check. Yes, location request, as these two things are from this that the dependency we have added from the Google services for the location. So here are 3 things: location callback, location request, and I've used location provider client. So it is almost completed. After that I have to add a function here. If it is completed or done, then I have to return some value. First of all, take the type, that is Boolean, and then it is negotiating from this delegates from the observable and make it the initial value as false. After that add up these things, and within this lambda function, and you have to add the if condition. If newer value is equals to true, then you have to update this I've used location provider client as remove location updates as location callback. So it is completed. If you have taken the location, then you have to remove the location update from the location callback so that you can get the newer location if you move ahead. So here we have to add just call that function. It will be useful here. We have to get that I've used location provider client from it, and here I have to create two functions. The first function is ask for location permission. These functions are customizable. I have to create these functions after writing this declaration. And the second one is create location. It is request. Yeah. So these two functions that I have to create by myself. So let's come out of the body of onCreate function and create these two functions. Okay, so here I'm going to create that functions. So the type is fun, and then create location request. Yeah, after that, within this I have to give this location requests. From the location request that is present from the library dot create. It is showing some error. I think we are mistaken here. We have to create that first function firstly. After that we have to create this function. So don't you worry about it. These are just little things. I will just delete this function and then create this function that is ask for permissions firstly. Sometimes you will able to face this kind of errors, and you will able to come out from this type of conditions. And here it is, that is ask for location permissions. And the spelling is same. Okay, you have the second way. I am telling you the second way so that you can not get any spelling mistakes. Just click on that red button and the second option, create function. I think it is the much better way than writing the name of the function, and that remove that private from there. And after removing that modifier private, you have to give some if conditions. Actually, it is checking for the thing that if you already has an location permission, then further you will go. Actually, it is a function has location permission is a customized function that I will create later after this. And if it has the permission, if it returns the true, it is returning the boolean value. If it returns the value true, then we'll check out the last location, and on getting this adding the on success listener, and within this using lambda, and else if we didn't get the location, that if we didn't get the permission, actually is a thing that if we don't get the permission, then how can we get that location? So first we need to ask for location permission. So in the else case, we are asking for the permission for the location. If you allow your device to give the permission for noting your location, and on basis of the location the speed will be calculated. And here we go, and we are using the easy permission that is used for runtime permissions. It's a very popular library. If you haven't used it right now, then don't you worry. Just here the manifest permission dot access, we have to write that name, that access location course, but it is showing some error also. Okay, that we are gonna resolve. Let me check what kind of error it is. I think it is kind of something like import issue. Yeah, so we'll do it later. After this whole thing, that is ask for location permission, we'll check up these parentheses that we are in the correct space for writing the function. Yes, so it ends here, and it ends here the if block. This is for if block, and this is for else, and it is for add-on success listener. Okay, so has location permission, the function fuse location, it is also having some error as the red bulb is there, but we will be resolving all the errors and our app will be error free, don't you worry. First of all, write the code, so we have created this function has location, and its return value is boolean. Either it will return true or false. If you get the permission granted or denied from the user, then on basis of this resolve it. So we'll go for the easy permissions dot has permission, and then in this we'll pass the context as this, and then checking for the manifest. So what is for the manifest, we'll go for the second one. Yeah, Android. Okay, so I got the thing that was error in this. You have to add the Android, as I was saying that it is an import issue. So you can see that the error has been resolved. So let's come back in this has location and add that access. First of all, permission dot access, and then find location. So this function is completed, has location permission. As you can see that everything is good right now. Not good, there are lots of errors. Okay, so here we have to create one more function for creating the request for the location. After that, when you get the permission from the user, then you have to get the location. For that location you have to get the permission. So let's implement this function called create location request and remove this modifier. So we'll use here the GMS library functions and the objects, that is location request we have created in the upper part, and here we'll apply this, and in this we have to add the interval that how much time between the location notation you will give. So priority should be high accuracy, as we are measuring the speed, so it is the necessity that we have to add the priority as high accuracy. So it is completed, and here we have to check something. So our two functions are created, that is ask for location permission, and now we have to add callback things, and it is the object from the location callback, as we are getting the location again and again, so the callback is necessary. It will a kind of thing that a stack manages the callbacks, and in this if we get that on location results, then the location result will it's for null value. Yeah, it is showing error, don't worry. Okay, it was just because of the parameter, so I have to add that location result as same. So here we have to return the value, and we will return from if and else block. If it is done is the global function that we declared above. And after that, in this if block, we have to get the speed to int variable, and using that gms location result dot last location dot speed and convert it to integer. Then here we are making a function, a custom function called calculate speed, and passing the variable that is speed to int. After that, we are setting the current speed as speed to int. The first text view in the XML was the current speed ID, and it will set to it. Okay, so let me talk about this calculate speed function. Actually, our app will calculate speed in two ways. If the speed was higher than 30 kilometers per hour and 10 kilometer per hour. So create this function, and you have to implement this function. Here I have create this function. You can see that, yeah, calc speed, and within this you have to add if blocks for checking of the speed as it is greater than 10 or 30, and on basis of that thing you have to do the rest. So first of all, change this parameter to speed only. Now you have to give value 10. First of all, we are checking for the 10 kilometer per hour. So within this we have to do some calculations here, to do some subtractions and use that variables. What was that speed start time? We are checking for the acceleration in the first part. If the speed was greater than 10, it was accelerating towards 30 or greater than 10. Yeah, so first of all, get that speed up start time when the speed gets started, accelerated, and then get downtime, and then just check if it wasn't 0, the start time wasn't 0, then yeah, if it wasn't 0, then you have to do the calculation. Just subtract them, that speed down and time. Okay, there's an I've declared this variable with wrong name. Okay, so let me go to the declaration and correct it. So here it is, make this time only. Okay, so now it is correct as it is speed down and time, and from this we have to make a subtraction of speed down start time, and we store this result in speed down time, and then the text view, the second text view 30 to 10 ID will be set up with this speed downtime and divided by 1000 and get it to string. It is we divide it by 1000 because of milliseconds, and then just make this speed down start time 0 again. So it is completed. This if part is completed, and just remove this extra space. After this, you have to add another if else block for 30 and check here if it was greater than equals to 30. Actually this thing we are doing that measuring the speed in two ways. It's actually useful when you are working on a traffic rule app or a traffic monitoring app, and it is really a good submodule for the client app. So you should take care of this app always if you are working on the traffic kind of projects. Here I'm doing the same thing, getting the speed and time, and just subtract it. It is also the same if block, and here you have to set this 10 to 30. Okay, so divide by 1000 and dot toString, and then just make it to 0 again. So this if block is completed. Also, where the end of the function is here, remove this extra space. So it is removed now. So our function is ready to go. Remove this extra space again, and you can see that there are so many errors in the right side of the scroll, but don't worry. Okay, within this we have to also make it to get the time, speed down, start time in the end of this if block within this else if. So here we get it. So here now 2 or 3 functions are left. That is first of all on resume, getting the updates of the location is necessary whenever the app is in the on resume thing. We'll have to implement this function start location updates, and using that same GMS object will request for the location updates here and pass the location request and callbacks here, location callbacks, and also make up to the looper to get up the locations regularly. So it is now we have to implement that on pause too, and within this we have to remove the location stack kind of thing. So we'll use it to remove location updates, and we'll pass that location callbacks whenever you are not using the app. Okay, so here we have to make another fewer functions as they are needed for this easy permission library, and we'll check it out what kind of functions we need. And first of all, okay, so here we have to add another function, that is on request permissions, and this is the main kind of function that we have to add up that easy permission library. If we get the request of the permission in terms of the results, and we have to just make up this request code with our value of app settings. So we'll do it here and check up for all these things, and here we have to implement 2 functions, that is on permission denied and on permission granted. So first of all we implement this on permission denied, and in this if the user has denied that permission, so we'll check up from the easy permissions. If you don't do this checkups, then this results in crash of your app. So it is necessary to do all these things to make your app more robust. So here we will check up from the app setting dialogs for the request code. First of all, we have to build it and then show it. After that, we have to add these things. Okay, so let me check some braces I'm within the function or not. So you can see that error are increasing, but don't worry about it. So one more function, that is on permission granted. You don't have to implement this function. This is not a necessary kind of function that you have to implement. You just add up a comment of your choice, as I'm adding that it doesn't mean anything serious, or you can add anything you want in the comments, but code should be same, otherwise it will not work. So here we have to add rotational function overrides declarations, and for the second one, denied, accepted and denied. You don't have to implement these three functions. They are just for the formality kind of thing. And here we are making the huge thing, that is on activity result. That is if the user clicked on allow permission or that deny button, and here we have to check about it. We'll use the same the request code concept and check up with this app setting dialog the value of the request code, and we'll set up that yes to allow and no to deny. So here I set up them, and then I'll print that toast this, then that is on activity result. This will be the tag, and then toast length long, then show it. So there is almost everything is completed right now, but there are so many issues, errors and the space between the functions, lot of extra space. Just have to remove all this. So this is also the crucial part of this app. First of all, add permission check. I'm removing the errors firstly. Click on this red section, doing just as I'm doing. Click on the first, this scroll kind of thing. Click on that red and then just go to that bulb. Change the variable type. Sometimes you need to implement the variables in type var in Kotlin, but you implement in val type, so it showed some error. So don't you worry about it, just do it as I'm doing. Here also you have to add permission check, so the errors are removed, but this function is also showing an error, and also this code is not visible within this function. So let me check what is the issue with this function and this block. Everything is correct or not? I think everything is not correct with this function. Don't you worry about it. This is the permission check, and then that lambda is within that add on success listener for getting the last location using that GMS library fused location provider client. And after this, that manifest permission is also checked out. So let me remove this function, and I'll re-implement this. This is a small function, don't you worry about it, as I'm not able to see the error. Where is the error? So I just have to remove this function, remove it. Okay, there's an braces left, so just undo it. I'm just undo it. Okay, and check for the braces from where the function starts. Just remove it from there. Now it is correctly removed. Now I'm gonna re-implement this function called ask for permission, location permission, and within this function I'll do that same things, that if it has the location permission, has location permission is a function that we have implemented, and it is returning boolean value, and then just check for fused last location with this fused location provider client, and on success listener we have to add that lambda, location lambda. Okay, then you have to do nothing here. You can add up a comment, it is on your choice. I'm adding that comment, do nothing. Okay, so here it is. Now take care of this braces I've added, then one extra braces I have to remove it. Okay, so the if block is completed. Now I have to implement that else block, and within this else block I have to check up with that easy permission for the and requesting permission with this parameters, and here I have to add this message kind of thing that need permission to find your location and to get the speed calculations. You can add whatever text you want to show within this, or go with mine, and here you have to add that location permission, and then go for the manifest, Android manifest dot go for permissions, and then access final location. So this function is completed. Now just add permission check. Okay, now almost all errors are removed, but two errors are there only. Let me see what is the problem with this block. Okay, Western is the function, that's a global kind of function that we have declared in that starting part of this class, and it is returning that boolean value, and on basis of that we are getting the speed to it, yes, and calculate the speed, that the function that we have just implemented, and then we are setting the current speed id text. So let me check out what the error is saying. So it is saying that it is a non-null asserted. So sometimes error is very small and it is hard to find, but don't you worry about it. I will find it and just resolve it within 2 minutes. We checked at location and ask for location permission. These two functions I have removed this extra space first of all. Now this bothers a lot. So where's the error? It is the returns statement is good, and checking for that null value within the parameters of location result, and the type is. So here's the error. The space between it. These two things, interrogation and colon, are without space, and make it so there are no errors. As you can see that only warnings are there. This app is an error free right now. So I just remove this extra space first of all, then I'll re-scroll this class, this whole class. Then if you get stuck at anywhere, or if you have missed anything, then you will able to pause this video and correct that part. that you have missed. So first of all, let me remove this extra space so that you will able to get the text within the screen. So now I just expand this import. Now you can see everything. I'm just scrolling and I've removed that thing that was not necessary. Okay, I'm scrolling slowly. If you got stuck at anywhere, or if you are still having error in your class, then just go through this code and pause at the block of code from which you are getting still error, and make corrections, modifications, or make it just like me. And it is necessary to re-scroll this, because Kotlin is something, if you missed out any space between two things, then it will show an error and you will not able to get the error if you are not experienced much. But it is an easy language, a short block of codes, small codes. Okay, so we are on the end of this class. After this, I will run this app on my device and will show you the results also. So let me run the app, and first of all I'll open the phone screen and it is installing. So I'm using an Linux library for this Scrapy. You can go with your own system, you are using that emulator or your phone, it goes with you. So first of all, allows the permission for that location, and checked out that if your location is on or not. First of all, it is showing dash, that means that your location is not on. So make sure that you have enabled the location within your device. So just click on it. I just enabled it. So here you can see that the dash changed into 0. So it means that location is enabled. Now let me check for the internet is also connected. So let me move my phone so that you can see the variation. Yes, you can see that it changed to 0 to 1. And if I move with the speed 10 km/h, the two things will also change. So thank you for watching this video. You can subscribe